Originally formed in 1971, the North Halton Community Singers actually predate the formation of the Town of Halton Hills, which didn't happen until 3 years later. When it did come about, the idea of combining Georgetown, Acton, and Esqueezing Township into a single municipality wasn't popular at the time. Marianne Lawler feels, however, that it's an experiment that has worked.
I kind of think of us as a blended family of an arranged marriage. You know, that we all bring something to the table, but we all have our own personalities. We're all quite distinct in and of ourselves.
Leading that distinct group has had its ups and downs over 50 years. 7 mayors accepted that challenge. 5 were in attendance at the celebration to share some of the stories that stood out during their terms. Ultimately, the current mayor believes amalgamation has proved successful because they continue to make space for those individual community personalities.
We continue to celebrate each of those communities: Acton, Georgetown, Glen Williams, Norval, Stewarttown. They're all communities in their own right. People are fiercely proud, and we think that Halton Hills, as a collection of communities, is a very successful municipality.
As dignitaries took their seats, the archivist from the Esqueezing Historical Society began to share more details about the formation of the town of Halton Hills and the history behind the problem that resulted in this solution. It centered around post-World War II growth.
There was conflict between the different levels of government about services, and services were becoming more expensive, and the province was quite often asked to be the arbitrator between all these municipal levels of government. And so they thought that if they reduced the number of municipalities, they would have fewer to deal with and fewer boundary disputes. So they came up with the idea of regional government in 1973.
Rowe also recounted the feeling of some residents from the various villages and hamlets that Georgetown would dominate because it was the largest center with the largest tax base. Over time, government money was spread around so that everyone could benefit. Keeping this history alive is important because Rowe says it defines us.
History helps us to identify what parts of our community have a definite historical connection with famous people, with the history we read about, and the history far beyond Halton Hills and its connections to here.
The Levee was just one of many events planned for the year to help celebrate the 50th anniversary. Jason Trout for Halton News in Halton Hills.